welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast. I'm Mark Storrs. With me, as always, is...
I am Chris Carnicelli.
And...
I'm Rob Morphy.
Social medias, the Instas, the Twitters, the Facebooks. Be sure to follow us there.
Do it, please.
Ratings and reviews are always appreciated for this podcast, so please be sure to leave a rating and a review on the Apple Podcast apps and the iTunes. Those are two different things.
They are.
But we appreciate your ratings and reviews there. Also, too, we are available on Spotify, and a bunch of people out there, want to give them a quick little thank you. They sent us their the screenshots that we were like the most listened to podcast on their Spotify list. So thank you all very much.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, very cool.
Dankeschön.
Cool. So do all that stuff, and before we get started, actually, we're going to give a special little acknowledgement and a special little shout-out here to a listener. Stephen Overman, he contacted us just today. Unfortunately, on the 16th of December, his mother, Sue, passed away from cancer. He sent us a very nice note, though, that with all the hardship he's been going through, he's been listening to the podcast. It's kind of helping him out a little bit, kind of just getting through it. So this one's for Sue.
Absolutely.
Right here. I have
Salute,
a delicious Genesee local
Heart goes
here,
out
so.
and thoughts.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Definitely.
nothing but affection.
Yeah, very sorry to hear of your mother's passing, but I'm glad that we can offer some solace in just a little bit of...
Absolutely.
Totally.
It was both a devastating and heartwarming note,
Yeah,
which is
sure.
kind of what I guess the best things in life are.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, thank you so much. And, here's to your mom and here's to... you guys being able to enjoy the memories.
Yes, definitely. Also, too, we're going to give a special shout-out to listener Hunter Blevins, who sent us a very nice Christmas
Oh,
package.
good Lord in
fuck
heaven.
yeah.
Holy crap.
Mr. Blevins, you have outdone yourself. It was just like a series of more joyful revelations in this wondrous box. You clearly tailor-made each gift for all of us.
Yeah.
You gave Mark a goddamn predator.
Yeah,
It's adorable.
the Predator.
The-
Lava Planet.
The old-school Lava Planet original Kenner Predator, and I'm a huge Predator toy nerd, so getting an old-school
You're a
one...
huge, straight-up predator nerd across
Exactly,
the board.
yeah.
Chris got piles of cookies and a man baby,
A jerking off Steve Austin baby.
which is adorable and haunting.
I must have mentioned that in the pod that I wanted.
And my man hooked me up with some paranormal books from which I can
Oh, yeah.
cultivate new pods.
Yes.
So thank you, Hunter Blevins.
Yeah.
Thank
was
you
the
very
best.
much, and don't forget, we got one single...
Oh, and we got some whiskey action too.
Oh,
And the best part for me, opening up the box, taking each piece out, and then seeing the series of dicks and a hot
Yeah.
dog sticker at the bottom of the box.
Yes, there's just dicks ahoy.
Just dicks for days. It was so enjoyable. And one of them was like a standard 2-ball phallus, that's fine. The other one
One
was
is
like
just
this
jerking-
really
yeah.
beautiful, impressionistic, veiny dick shooting jizz and having fun.
It was done very well, actually. I was pretty... I
was impressed.
I removed the bourbon box, and I'm like, oh, wow, there's just two giant penises staring at me.
Yeah.
And that one's done really well.
Yeah, I was
Good
very
job,
impressed,
Hunter.
I gotta
No.
say.
Then we were looking everywhere for sneaky dicks.
Yeah, basically.
Because we're like, they could be anywhere now.
Now that, all bets are off. And we also got a single battery and
a condom.
and a single rubber.
Oh,
that
yeah,
Chris
rubber.
and I will be splitting. So perfect
Yeah,
days.
yeah. Whoever
Yeah.
gets there first, we
Yeah,
just
whatever.
Yeah,
Whichever one
of you guys gets it.
I'm going to use it to pork a ghost, I'm pretty sure.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, cool. So there you have it. Thank you very much, Hunter. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to
that was
everybody.
dope. That was definitely cool. So, all right, let's get started with this week's episode. This is going to be sort of fun and kind of weird.
It is definitely weird.
I did a little bit of a little pre-research on this, and I was like, this is something a little different.
It's a little kooky.
We're talking about the ghostly Scarecrow of Chiang. In 2005, villagers living in a rural Thailand farming community claimed to have had a close encounter with a small, spectral, red-eyed entity, which witnesses claimed was eerily unbound by the laws of gravity or physics.
Booyah.
Wow.
Rob.
And you know what? Fuck the laws of thermodynamics while he's at it.
Yeah, he doesn't...
I don't think he
Oh,
obeys
really?
the rules of anything.
No.
I'm going to disclaimer real quick that I'm going to probably brutally mispronounce every city and proper name
Well, yeah.
they're in.
We don't even
I'm
know
just
if we
gonna-
named that title right.
I'm going to do the best. Yeah, we don't even know if the title is actually right. So, if anyone out there is of Thai origin or speaks the language, just be forgiving. It's the Christmas season.
Yeah, forgive us. We love Tony Jaa. Forgive us.
We totally do.
I love Thai food, so...
Oh, yeah, and the food.
Oh, yeah, food's great.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
wonderful temples.
Totally.
A phenomenal culture we just don't speak it so
Our
well.
apologies to you, Thailand.
Located about 488 miles north of Bangkok and situated on the Kok River Basin. I know, I'm 14. I can't help it.
Well,
The Chiang, you can't. The Kok River Basin, come on. I'm 4. I can't help it. The Chiang Rai province is situated within the renowned Golden Triangle area where Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand converge. Nestled within this province is a small provincial farming village of Hue Nam Rock. On the morning of August 31st, 2005, no less than 10 residents of this tiny village claimed to have seen a bizarre, yellowish, quasi-humanoid figure hovering above a ridge that ran through a rice and lemongrass field owned by 69-year-old Thai Kit Kang Bon. It's a great name. The first eyewitness of this strange event to come forward was a 51-year-old man named Sawang Bunrat Chizak.
Bunrat
Chizak.
Zach. There he is.
It's phenomenal. Who claimed that he spied the being while bicycling past the field sometime between 8 and 8:30 in the morning in question. Swang, who was adamant about the fact that he was completely sober when he spied the creature, said he first thought the entity was a scarecrow that had, by technology he was unfamiliar with, somehow been automated. It must be nice to be like in your head like,
robot?
I assume that there's robot scarecrows now.
Yeah, really.
When I see this weird thing doing its weird shit, I assume there's a robot scarecrow taking care of stuff. That is a nice world to live in, I think. Nice going, Swang. But upon closer evaluation, he decided that what he was looking at, bizarre as it may be, must be a living creature. According to Swang, the moment that chilled him to the bone was when the hovering quote-unquote scarecrow suddenly turned, stared directly at him with its blood-red eyes, and nodded its head as if acknowledging his presence. This is fucking weird.
Oh, okay.
What struck the admittedly frightened witness most was its gaze did not seem hostile, but imploring, as if it was asking for help. So now you have a pitiable thing.
Yep.
Whether or not this creature was trying to make a connection with the human witness, Swang wanted no part of this potential summit between two distinct species and hastily left the scene.
I mean, even if things looking at you like have pity on me, but you think at first it's like a robotic scarecrow, you really, I mean, I guess you kind of should help it, but on the same note, like, don't.
Yeah, but I mean,
By
the
really,
same token, don't.
Just don't.
Well, maybe pity face is like their I'm going to kill you face.
That's true. If you smile at a chimp, you're going to lose your face and all your fingers.
Your balls are gone.
Everything gets torn off.
Once again, I have to say
Why
this.
is it every time we talk about monkeys and balls being gone, you look at me when you say that?
Because
you
we
want a
had to
monkey.
talk you
You
down
always
from
want
a
a
monkey.
But I didn't get the monkey.
That's not what I said. I said we had to talk you
I'm currently
down.
monkeyless.
Three
Because-
times.
You're welcome.
3 times Chris and I have had to save you from the monkey.
For weeks, we expected you'd come in, a little asshole on your shoulder.
Sadly, that monkey passed away. And the dog that she came with passed away as well. Sad.
Oh, a monkey and a dog?
Yeah, she had a German
They
Shepherd.
probably killed each other in a fight.
No, they were buddies.
Yeah, well.
Story for a different time.
All right.
Fake
So
news.
what we're going to do is we're going to understand why Swang was so cautious, because this thing is interesting to look at, to say the least. Swang informed the rest of the villagers about the strange being, which he described as an armless humanoid creature with 2 small, almost atrophied legs, which rather than ending in feet tapered to points with flesh that was a sickly, jaundiced yellow. He further stated that the thing was about 30 inches in height, with a large head and equally large ears attached to a relatively small body. Most disturbingly, he informed them that gravity had no apparent sway on this possibly paranormal beast.
Well, yeah, if you have just points for feet, then how
It is a dangly, floaty orange. Mark, you have the illustration.
I mean,
I did,
unless you have perfect balance, then
yeah.
Then you're on just points.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard. It's like walking on the tips of ice skates or something. It would be super difficult. So this thing is just basically a yellow torso with little dangly feet, big red eyes, strange ears that sort of take up the better part of its head, almost Ferengi.
I was going to say Ferengi.
Yeah, if you guys are familiar with.
No, that's a Ferengi.
Yeah. It's like a jaundicey Ferengi with like a little tiny mouth and dangle feet. And so this is a thing that's looking at people.
I didn't even picture feet at all.
what, like I say, little atrophied dangle limbs that end in points. As soon as he heard this odd tale from his friends, 35-year-old Swang Booney Alak. All right. Now, his name is also Swang.
Okay, I was going to say, didn't we just hear Swang? Okay.
Yeah, no, we had Swang, Bun Rat Chazak, I think, and now we have Mr. Booney Alak.
Okay.
Along with several other villagers, dashed to Kitkaban's field to see the strange creature for themselves. Booney Alak later described the almost unbelievable apparition to reporters, stating, "The alien is about 70 centimeters high. It has yellow skin and a flat chest. Its mouth is very tiny. It has a big bald head with big eyes and big ears." Consistency. While Swang was the first to report the incident, Baopan Lawi Chai would later claim that she was actually the first to have seen the being floating listlessly above the field at about 6:30 in the morning. So the first one to make the report is Swang, but this lady later said, "I saw it a couple hours earlier."
He saw between 8 and 8:30, and then she saw this. Oh,
about
okay,
6:30.
interesting. Okay.
All right. Swang claimed that he and the other villagers observed as this weird organism, which he described as having a large round head that looked like a light bulb and big red eyes, as it wandered about the field for nearly an hour, seemingly unconcerned about the humans who were openly gawking at it. Some of the eyewitnesses, like Bok Anu into Wang, believed that the creature was some sort of animated doll. I don't know if this is some fucking magic thing. I don't know if it's Annabelle, East. I don't know what's going on with that, or if it's another form of the robot.
Why are those the jumps? It's a robot, it's an animated doll,
it's a ghost.
Yeah,
and there's going to be other theories too. She was indicating, perhaps, that it employed jerky robot-like movements. Others insisted that it was more of a spectral apparition, which they compared literally to Casper the Friendly Ghost, which is fun to see that
looks
this
nothing.
1960s strange, Western reference somehow has sway in Thailand.
Yeah. So maybe just because of like the parallel to a robot, but then them saying that it's an apparition almost makes you sound like as you're looking at it that maybe it's kind of like phasing.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Almost like just the way that it's moving. It's like herky-jerky, but at the same time it's almost like see-through, so it's just kind of like appearing and disappearing
but I don't
slightly.
Well, no one said that, did they?
No one's talked about translucency or transparency, so I don't think we should assume that.
So yeah, I'm thinking that maybe because of the distance that they were at, like as they're looking at it, it looks herky-jerky, and they said it was like an apparition. So maybe it just was like sort of.
But it could also be a culture that is like steeped in traditional beliefs and superstition, that they would be more likely to think that this is a paranormal entity,
right? And now
some
like
sort of
alien.
phantasm rather than an extraterrestrial. Or what? I mean, this really kind of beggars description. It's very hard to figure out what the fuck this is.
Yeah, totally.
So any theory is basically valid. Villager Kama Pinsai Moon stated that he watched what looked like a child floating until about 10:30 a.m. when it did something that would seem to be beyond the capacity of most biological creatures. Let me go on a limb and say all biological creatures. When he, according to Kama, stretched, turned jet black, then disappeared into the sky like a soaring rocket.
Whoa.
Stretched.
So, I guess like a cartoon thing, like when when Tom and Jerry, one of them starts running and their torso elongates before the legs catch up with the head or whatever.
Yeah. Huh.
But the fact that this thing, whether or not it's corporeal, stretches out and then just boom, like it's a self-propelling slingshot, like it's its own rubber band.
Yeah, really. I mean, if that's its own, if that's let's say it's an alien, that's like the beaming technology. Wow, what a bummer.
That's not even beaming.
That's
just
terrible. That
would suck.
That's a shit way to get back to your ship right there.
I mean, unless that thing is pliable as fuck, it's got bones of rubber, it can float. Yeah. Maybe this species is meant to stretch.
Maybe.
For us, it seems reprehensible because, there's
vertebrae,
there's the rack, and we have bones, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But for these things, maybe it's just like pure joy.
That's how they roll. Maybe they look at us and they're like, oh my God, they've got those hard things in their skin.
Look at those rigid fucks.
Ah, God, their backs are always hurting, their knees suck. They're so gross.
Oh,
And
they're
we're
walking
like,
on the ground with their feet, with their big flat feet.
I know.
Look at these gross little yellow jelly bag things. Ew,
What are those things hanging off the sides of their arms? Oh, well,
God.
They are the arms.
Tiny ears.
I don't
How
know
do they
what
hear
an arm
anything?
is. Oh, Christy. Okay. So stretched, turned jet black, then disappeared into the sky like a soaring rocket. Other eyewitnesses to the alleged event agree with Kama's description, but claim that the being disappeared not into the sky, but into a bright, glowing orb that hovered above it. This would seem to indicate a potentially extraterrestrial move. So some, like, Kama is like, it just winged into the sky. Everyone else is like, no, yeah, stretched, turned jet black, flew into a big fat glowing orb.
Right.
So, UFO time.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the origins of it is, it's a UFO
I mean,
and
I
that it's
suppose
unidentified.
a big fat glowing orb could be paranormal, though, too.
Absolutely.
Of course it can.
Yeah.
If I had to stretch, maybe we did a portal and I had to assume a shape to get through it.
I didn't want to bring
Oh.
up portals, but you did, so.
You might be safe with your interdimensional fetishism this time around.
Well, you know what? We're going to see if it gets there.
Okay.
We're not going to jump the gun just yet.
Investigator Kitty Kasim Ratanakosa, fun to say, visited the village of Hwai Nam Rak as soon after the incident to interview all of the eyewitnesses and examine rocks and soil in the region to see if it left any evidence behind, apparently. He claimed that many of the people he had talked to told him of a floating fire that had been seen falling from the sky near the rice field just one night before the villagers claimed to have seen the ghostly Scarecrow. Based on that testimony, is it possible that this mysterious entity was a survivor of a UFO crash who was just exploring the Earth while waiting for a ride from some sort of intergalactic taxi service? If there was a crash, no mention of any debris has been made, suggesting perhaps that the glowing orb might not have been a taxi so much as a tow truck. Either way, that's wild speculation.
Yeah.
I'm not even necessarily more partial to the extraterrestrial hypothesis in this case. But it's one that you have to consider with flaming things in the sky and glowing orbs.
Yeah, I mean,
And
maybe,
the fact that it is clearly not classic Earth biology that we're dealing with.
maybe aliens have Uber and Lyft. Why not?
Why not?
Maybe they have AAA service.
They probably would have had that tech long before us.
Can you imagine what a pain in the ass it has to be to work for like the intergalactic AAA? Oh,
Yeah,
it's all the different planets you got to go to and
you
the
can
different
barely
species
deal
you got
with
to
different
deal with.
people, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you can travel that, it makes
It just seems like it's just a complete road dog of a job where you're just like,
Well, that's because
"God
we can't
damn it."
fathom interstellar travel.
It's true.
And also-
if you have like
true.
warp technology and it takes 4 seconds to get
That
to a different
makes-
galaxy, then it
You're right.
shrinks your universe down.
That would make everything different. Also, we can't fathom a world where the species in charge isn't a pile of douches. So
right.
those are the two things. If they're actually, amiable and go
Right.
out of their way to get along and have, as Chris suggested, super tech, maybe it's just a flawless, awesome system. We can't fathom it because
Yeah.
that shit would fucking fall flat on its ass here on Earth.
It seems unlikely, but
But we can't let Earthican logic impose on the universe's goodwill.
No, we can't, good sir.
Dang nibbit.
Continue, Robert.
Will do. Needless to say, it wasn't long before curiosity seekers, approximately 100 per day, a huge influx for the area, flocked to the small village from miles around in the hopes of catching a glimpse of this enigmatic object. Villagers piled onto several pickup trucks and raided the Majan district office, trying to confirm a false rumor that the celestial visitor had been caught. This, of course, prompted the local police force to take action. Police Colonel Kitty Sin Kong Ta Wee Pan,
my favorite.
phenomenal, the superintendent of Majan District Police Station, sent in a cadre of extra officers to deal with the ever-increasing crowds that were infesting the village.
You got a little pandemonium happening here in this little village.
It kind of
It's
reminds me
crazy.
of the Murfreesboro Mud Monster
Right.
or
Mill Race.
Yeah. That's another classic one. I mean, probably the most classic one in terms of people going batshit crazy. And we would do the same thing. Like, say, we talked about during the Mill Race episode. If there was ever a crypto phenomenon or a proper UFO flap, I wish I wasn't so young when the Hudson Valley flap happened because I'd probably be there all the effing time. We'd be road tripping there bi-weekly. It'd be impossible to avoid. So while I empathize with the city leaders about what it must be like to deal with all this human traffic, how can you not want to see?
Yeah, totally.
Because these flaps never last long, whether it's cryptozoological, ufological, paranormal. There's always a certain window. Some are a little longer. So, you get Point Pleasant the last, about a year or so, and some are much shorter. So you got to jump, while the iron's hot, as it were. Kong Ta Pan even tried to dissuade the visitors from coming by claiming that there was no evidence that this creature was an alien or that it even existed at all, save for the eyewitness testimony. He even tried to support this claim by stating that his officers had found no traces of damage to the rice field, conveniently ignoring, it would seem, the fact that all of the observers claimed that the creature was floating above as opposed to walking on the rice field.
Hence, no evidence of said creature.
Of damage, yeah. I mean, you're not going to find footprints of a floating creature. That's a flawed idea.
He's just trying to push it down, trying to suppress the information. Doesn't want the yellow floating glob thing to get out.
Who does?
Maybe they did take it. Maybe it's still there today, to this day, locked up.
Oh, there's a real possibility.
Yeah.
If it could be captured, they would capture it.
Totally.
And they wouldn't release it. They would try to figure out what the fuck it is.
Well, how do they get it after it turned into a black missile?
You're right.
And left.
Maybe there was more than one.
Could be.
Okay.
This is my own.
Maybe when it turned into
story.
a black rubber band missile and shot into the glowing orb of doom, that was really an Earth trap. Super science trap launched to capture these things.
Nice, okay.
Really?
Okay.
In Thailand?
I would like to. Well, who knows?
The secret tech under the rice paddy?
Soviet tech. It would have been Russian at this point. American tech. We don't respect the borders.
No.
The super paranormal BPRD style tech that the major superpowers have. They will go into these other countries and they will take their paranormal entities and use them and weaponize them to their convenience. It is a dirty game, friends.
Okay.
Indeed.
All right. The media interest in this case became so overwhelming that the sub-district municipality mayor, Banjong Yang Yuan Jan Jawa,
nice,
right on, asked the village chief to set up a camera in the rice field in case the entity returned. Although he was skeptical of the creature's existence, he didn't want to take a chance on missing what might be one of the greatest scientific discoveries of the 21st century. On a more practical matter, Banjong also was forced to dispatch a crew of workmen to repair the road running past the field where the creature was most regularly seen, due to the fact that it had been churned into an impassable mud mound by the massive influx of tourist traffic.
So this is creating some chaos.
Infrastructure is going to shit.
In the sub-district municipality, we got some real shit happening.
Yeah, no, when you're the sub-district municipality mayor.
Yeah.
What an odd title.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to deal with this shit.
You
can't have your roads falling apart.
No.
People slipping into rice paddies.
No, you got to get that shit
Kids
fixed.
drowning. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. For the moment, it seemed as if the identity of this mystery monster might finally be put to rest when Tong Muan Pochel Oet, a resident of the nearby village of Doi Kam, which is located about 6 miles away from Hoi Nam Rock, claimed that the episode might have something to do with the discarded helium-filled rubber doll he found trapped in the branches of a tree in August of 2005.
What kind of helium-filled rubber doll are we talking about,
Well,
Robert?
we're going to discuss that.
All right.
Pochelouet tethered the greenish-orange doll outside his home, convinced that it would make a good scarecrow for his vegetable garden, which was constantly being raided by stray ducks and chickens, those fucking dirty stray ducks and chickens.
Yeah.
It's not your goddamn corn.
No.
I had to say it. He described the doll as being about 3 feet in height with a large head, upon which were a distinct nose, eyes, and mouth, and tiny arms and legs. Notably, he mentioned that it did not have ears. So, little discrepancies here.
Okay.
You know, the skeptics want it. They're so horny for this to be a goddamn
I'm
helium-filled
hot
balloon.
and horny for this, Rob. You better believe it.
Not you. I'm not calling you a
Oh,
skeptic.
no, I am right now. I'm like, oh,
Are you
there's
horny for a balloon right now?
Well, I mean,
Does it go into your horniness for fucking blimps? It all ties together, doesn't it?
You know
Lighter
what?
than air gases, you fucker.
There's nothing saying this isn't a blimp.
You're right.
There you go.
This is the one time I can't argue.
Yeah.
Fair enough. On August 29th, a huge storm swept through Pochelot's village, taking his trusty scarecrow with it. It would be 2 days later that the flap of the alien sightings would begin in the T. Kitkabon's rice field in the village of Huai Nam Rak. Pochel Oet later claimed in a September 11th interview with the Ram Dwe Kwai Khan community radio station that while he assumed that this floating doll might be the cause of the alien sightings, he did not come forward for fear that the villagers would accuse him of lying, which is why he waited so long to come forward with a story. While it is tempting to dismiss the entire incident as an obvious case of mistaken identity, one is hard-pressed to ignore the fact that an animate, large-eared, armless, tiny-mouthed, red-eyed yellow creature does not quite fit the bill of an inanimate, earless, armed, wide-mouthed, non-red-eyed, greenish-orange inflatable doll. To further confirm this supposition, when a reporter showed a frustratingly difficult to find, I could not find a copy of this photo, that's why I say that, photograph he had taken of the doll to the Hoi Nam Rak witnesses, they unequivocally claimed that the features of the rubber doll in no way, shape, or form matched the creature they had seen. So the eyewitnesses are dead up saying,
Sure.
It's convenient, it wants to work, it's a floating fucking Scarecrow doll, about the right size, but it just ain't cutting it. The villagers further stated that they saw the alleged extraterrestrial being moving its limbs and head, and that the controlled height and manner in which it floated was an obvious indication of intelligence, completely unlike a balloon's random floating. On September 10th, the UFO investigator Terry Colvin posted on the UFO Updates website that this story had appeared on Thai television, and he goes on to quote, Thai TV today reported on an entity seen in northwest Thailand near Chiang Mai. The entity was seen near a rice farm by 4 or 5 people. It had a large head and a yellow body. The phantasm then stretched into the sky and disappeared. The news anchor called this a John Bin, or flying saucer, as it translates to English. Unfortunately, following this brief, essentially 24-hour flap, this brief but intense flap of Scarecrow sightings, this entity, whatever it might be, disappeared, never to be seen again. Whether this inexplicable creature was an alien, an apparition, an unknown species that stirred from its jungle hideaway, or nothing more than a helium-filled balloon, the citizens of Huai Nam Rak village will likely never forget the bizarre events that occurred on August 31st, 2005.
All right, there you have it. 2005, that's definitely a more
Recent
contemporary one,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
This isn't 73, so that's kind of a nice little takeaway right there. All right, so interesting little scenario with this little floating yellow, armless, atrophied-legged thing.
It is an odd duck.
It's bizarre. Anything that you can you think of anything that fits the description of something like this?
There is nothing that I'm familiar with. I cannot claim to be an expert in Thai legends or paranormal, lore, but I did research it when I was doing the story when I wrote it years ago, and I couldn't find anything that was really a direct parallel.
Right.
Obviously, there's nothing in cryptozoological legend that is like this, that can
Yeah.
float without any means of flying, that is lighter than air, but can still manage controlled flight without wings or any rudder type appendages or anything like that.
So maybe we should stick more towards the phantasms and or / alien angle for this, because obviously it could be some from the cryptozoology field, but to me it sounds more like we're dealing with a ghost or an alien, which means
Heller
space.
Yeah. No, this clearly fits the purview.
This is Heller space.
Just because it wasn't the balloon that he described doesn't mean that it still wasn't a balloon.
I mean, look, I'm hot and horny for this balloon. I'm with you there, Chris. We're holding hands. We're on this bridge. We want this balloon
you don't
bad.
know. It looks like a rip-off dollar store ET.
It could.
Scarecrow.
It sure
It could.
does.
It could.
Like if it was just tethered shittily, you know how they have just weights tied to balloons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would keep it kind of floating. Say if the
Right.
wind took it, it would still maintain
Right.
on the ground.
Everything Chris is saying is
I'm
valid.
just throwing it out there.
Except
That's saying I believe
that
it.
it would
I'm just throwing it
not
out
be
there.
able to turn its head and look.
It's true.
It wouldn't be able to. Well, the wind could move its limbs. I'll give you that. And
Sure.
you're right. If it had a thin line tethered to I don't know what, like just something that weighed a little
Yeah,
more
whatever,
than
something.
I don't know it.
Piece of corn.
A piece of corn, 3
There you go.
niblets.
A piece
Three
of
niblets
corn.
would keep it from floating
A
away, but not
twig.
bring it to the ground.
Heavy.
How about we all just
patty.
agree on a solid cucumber? How about that? One
Sure.
solid cucumber.
Okay. Well,
There you
yeah.
go.
Medium, like
Water.
but it would be a relatively like a pickle cucumber.
One solid cucumber.
All right, I'm
Let's
just
not
saying.
argue about size. Let's just say a solid man-sized cucumber.
What is man size?
Yeah, what does
Don't
that
worry
even
about
mean?
it. Just accept it, and let's continue.
Did you just go phallic for no good reason?
No, I didn't.
Man
All
size.
right, man-sized. It's a man-sized
Wouldn't
cucumber.
take a lot for
There
a
you go.
balloon.
All right, so that's one theory.
right.
A balloon with a man-sized cucumber. that's on the table, obviously. And then
There's other things that
I would throw extraterrestrial completely out the window because there'd be nothing to it except for the fact that it was actually seen by various eyewitnesses flying into a literal UFO. Now, not a piece of high technology that all sorts of fucking great accoutrement like something out of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but a glowing sky orb.
Well, like how high was it?
I don't know.
Like if it was, I guess if it's even 10 feet, technically it's UFO.
I mean, technically, this fucking creature is a UFO.
It's floating, yeah. So it's an unidentified
Or
Well,
an
no,
unidentified
because it
flying
was
entity.
somewhere and then it flew up. So it's not like I see it there and now it's in the sky, so I don't know what you still don't know what it is. It just happens to have flight.
There was some discrepancy there because some dudes saw it stretch and shoot like a rocket, and then the rest of them were like, "Well, no." Other eyewitnesses said,
No,
well,
they all saw that.
They didn't. Not all of them saw it fly into
but
the
then not
dot
all of
or
them saw
the
it go.
glowing.
Oh, all
The
right,
eyewitness,
gotcha.
I remember that name, saw it shoot into the sky. The other eyewitnesses saw the exact same thing, except it shot into a glowing, ovoid object.
Okay, gotcha.
However big or
However
small,
big
how
or
far
small.
away.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And you know what? In that case, like it was mentioned earlier, that could be an interdimensional portal. There's no reason to assume it's a piece
be.
of technology.
Right.
The robot action and the herky-jerky of it kind of makes... And also to the floating. I mean, if we are dealing with something that's interdimensional, there's nothing saying that whatever plane of existence this thing is on is the same as ours. So when you are seeing them, they don't have to be on the same plane as you. You could be seeing it on something completely different, whether you're just a little bit above it or a little bit below it.
So you're saying our ability to perceive things in exclusively 3 dimensions might limit our ability
More
to see
like how Chris describes the 3 to 4th dimension.
Right.
Stuff like that.
I remember that app description.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I don't know. Maybe that is a possibility.
Could be.
It could be something from the fairy realm. Something, by that I mean the little people, the ancient folk that allegedly have been here longer than us and have played hell with us and coexisted peacefully with us and gone to war with us and inspired Tolkien to write many books. I mean, there is a possibility this could represent one of those kinds of elder creatures or whatever you want to call them that, are either elemental, something of the forest, things that aren't necessarily limited by the biology and physics of a common man.
Yeah, I was curious if there's any like Thai folklore or anything.
There might
out
well
there
be. Not that I was able to find when I was researching.
Like if like gnomes or goblins or whatever are part of Thai folklore, or maybe something that would tie into like some weird little creatures. Like what's the one? It's not Thai, where it has a bowl of water on its head.
That's
Kappa.
the
Kappa
from
and,
Japan.
and then it's from Japan. But
And that's like that's a water kind of demon.
So, but I'm wondering if maybe if in Thai mythology they have like maybe some sort of like sky or water demons or something.
Well, it would almost make sense. I mean, this thing
Which
was
are technically
floating
fairies.
over, obviously the moist,
Right.
rice paddies, and it was able to float. So that might indicate an allegiance with air, or some sort of affinity with water. We all have an allegiance with air.
He was a waterbender, but fucking betrayed and became an airbender.
The worst bender
the
ever.
bendening.
The water bender.
I just feel like if that was steeped in their folklore, they might have recognized it more as something.
Yeah, that's true.
On the same note, though, I would think if it was a balloon, they'd be able to recognize a balloon. And be like, oh, look, it's a balloon. Not like, oh, it's something that's looking all sad and bummed out at me, but I ain't going to fuck with it.
Yeah, that's the haunting part. Like, you've got those blood red eyes, and you turn and give me the creepy look and acknowledge me, but then it's kind of like the farmer who saw the cow in the capsule.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. What was that? That was the... I can't even remember what...
Oh, God.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
I
that's
can't
right.
even think about it.
landed,
It's
it
from
was a-
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a man cow or something, right?
The encapsulized man cow that had the sad look that made the farmer, he was scared at first, but then for the rest of his life he was like, I wish I helped that man cow.
How funny is it that we can't remember what it is?
Yeah, we only did a podcast. I've only written an article.
'cause it was
it's
not
a
like a
classic
full-
paranormal story.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's
I can
funny.
see the goddamn images in
I
my
remember
head.
it's from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the hell it was
yeah,
called.
I remember solving it. We solved
Bozak,
it.
the Bozak
Bozak
humanoid.
humanoid, yeah, that's
Good
what it is.
Lord,
God,
I'm
Bozak.
ashamed.
All right,
So maybe Bozak, this thing was just sad-eyed,
Just bummed, man.
But maybe it's an atmospheric entity. Maybe,
like a sky spitter.
You know, like those things when they live in the atmosphere, they filter feed or whatever the fuck people say they do, and then it gets sick and comes to Earth, and it's just giving us the sad eyes like, I don't belong down here.
Oh, no.
I got lost in this world.
That's why it was yellow.
You know, usually they're translucent. Now he's all yellow and liver filthy.
Because Earth's air's mucking it up.
Our air sucks.
Filthy Earth air.
We do pollute things.
We
2005. I mean, it's not like good old clean Earth, like if he showed up in the Middle Ages. This is post-industrial shitbag atmosphere Earth. So our pollutants are hurting these atmospheric creatures, and they're going to start dropping left and right, and it's going to be a problem.
I mean, I feel bad, but unfortunately, that's just the price you pay for progress.
I thought you were going to say that's the price you pay for living in the clouds.
Well, I mean, that too. That too.
Wow. And that's the attitude that is dooming the human race to an inevitable extinction.
I mean, maybe, again, I don't want to keep going back to the balloon because I kind of want to go interdimensional with this. But, like, I mean, I don't know, man. We don't take a blimp off the table.
Who's to say it's not an interdimensional balloon? A balloon from another dimension. A child's toy from another world.
Dimensional balloons.
You know, why can't it be both? Ever?
I mean, it very well can
be. It could be. I think we already did that, though, with the clown.
Well, why can't it be a balloon and a demon? Yeah, it was a marionette from hell. Space hell.
It was a storm giant toy, I think.
Oh, that's right.
And/or child murderer.
Probably the latter.
For more information on that, check out the Sam the Sandown Ghost Clown episode to be filled in on that. And also, to check out the Sam the Sandown Ghost Clown t-shirt.
Oh, hugging the merch.
Bunch of people on Instagram, actually. A couple people sent me some pictures of them wearing it.
I thought you did a wonderful job with that logo.
I enjoyed that t-shirt, and I want to get myself a hoodie. So, all right, gentlemen, what do we think this is? Let's give our own personal theories here, and then we'll figure this out.
There's a lot of things I want it to be.
Okay.
I want it to be something paranormal because I almost never root for that. I'm a crypto guy through and through, but in this one case, I agree with what Chris said earlier. It simply can't be cryptozoological. I mean, it can be. The law of averages states there's a small percentage that it can be, but it really fucking can't be. Because there is no basis for a life form like this on Earth that we know of. So assuming it is not a fucking balloon, assuming that it is alive and it can look at people and it can control how it flies, even though it has no visible means of propulsion and no way to stay aloft or navigate, but it can do it somehow. So what would that be? Something from another world, something from another, as in planet, something from another dimension, or something paranormal that just is not enslaved to our physics.
Right. Okay. All right.
I don't know what any of it could be. I want it to be real because it's one of those offshoot weird ones that it's like, it doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't do anything dramatic.
No, just hanging out.
It's just floating over rice.
Does a thing.
Yeah.
And it puts this
books.
Yeah, it puts this town on the map and then jets. In the coolest way ever, really.
Yeah, and it literally jets out of there like a black rocket. So, all right, Christopher.
Yeah. Well, that's the twist. Like, it'd be different if it was just like a balloon, it did a thing, and then it just, like, maybe floated
drifted
off.
away. Yeah.
But then
got higher and higher and
guys.
disappeared.
Then you could just say, I think that was a balloon. But no, like, it stretches into some sort of blackish missile thing. I don't even.
Are you going interdimensional? Are you going extraterrestrial? Crashing blimp?
I feel like it was a failed first attempt at a really high-tech firework. Like the Japanese ones, it goes here, the balloon pops, and, it's a missile, and it's a fucking bottle rocket.
Oh, no.
A bottle rocket with a report.
Failed. Yeah. Can we have a whole new category of
failed fireworks?
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but we did recently, we had a situation with a balloon where I may have decreed that it was a witch.
Yep.
But do we know for a fact that it is a balloon?
And there it goes.
We did see that it was a balloon, yes.
Oh, you did?
Well,
I didn't know.
It was a balloon.
See, because I was in here
clearly
researching the
a balloon.
story while you and Chris were having an ultimate paranormal experience.
Well.
And then you came in and showed me a
It wasn't
shitty
clearly
cell phone video.
I mean,
it was lumpy.
I did see it leave the yard, and I'm like, oh, that's a
You
balloon.
did?
Yeah, I could totally see it leave the yard.
See, I was facing him, and then he saw it. By the time I looked at it, it was
saw
floating.
it leave the yard. I wanted it to be more.
You didn't tell me that until right now.
You'd cried false witch.
You
well,
bore
no, because
false witness.
there was nothing saying that it wasn't a witch balloon. It could have been both.
Oh my God! You can't use my words against me.
Yes, I can.
See what he does.
Watch me do it. Watch.
So you're saying the Lord's Prayer would have had no effect on this goddamn balloon?
No, unfortunately,
this
probably not.
helium-filled
You know what? I'm going to apologize to Christopher, Robert, and our audience. I may have gotten too excited and claimed that it was a witch, when in fact it may have been a balloon. Could have been a witch, though.
Okay.
Hey, as long as there's a hint of a possibility, I'm cool with it.
You still say the Lord's Prayer backwards, because if it is a witch and you don't do it, and then you fucked up completely.
I still advocate that as a last resort, because I still say, once you drop that thing, what do you do next? You better have the second part to that plan.
And that's only...
Fight it how?
You
with
fight
what?
it.
With your mighty fists?
Yes.
They won't work on a witch.
You don't know that.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, you can try. You'll probably lose.
I don't want to take that chance.
Yeah,
I just get like a witch just spin kicks you.
Oh, it sucks.
Just sends you flying.
Tony Jaa's the fuck out of you.
All I can think of is like Evil Dead. Like when he's fighting like the Deadites and everything. Like, hello, Ash, and they just beat the piss out of him.
Yeah, they got mad
They're all
skills.
fucking ninjas. But the Lord's Prayer thing only seems to work on certain witches.
Yeah, it's actually not every witch.
Like if you found if there's a Norwegian witch, does it work on that?
And of course, when we talk about witches, we're not talking about all you nice witches out there. We're talking about the evil crow transforming Juan and his felonious penis witches.
Yes.
Yeah. See the podcast episode. What episode was that?
Well, it was the Bruja Rubio.
Bruja Rubio. Yeah. So I think for this, I'm going to go with interdimensional blimp.
I like it.
Because why not?
It's just the best of both worlds.
May as well
It's a flavor sensation that you just don't expect.
There you go, interdimensional blimp. All right, cool.
All right, so we've got Bottle Rocket, interdimensional blimp, and I'm going with fucking dying atmospheric creatures.
All right, yeah.
E.T.
He He's exactly. He T'd, but he didn't have a sweet Peter Coyote to help him or a little Elliot to exchange, bodily energies or whatever, and he just fucking. I guess maybe that's how you enter the afterlife when you're an atmospheric creature. You fucking stretch out, turn jet black, and shoot to divinity. Yeah. Maybe it was a portal to fucking the sweetness of heaven.
It could have been, or maybe it was a black hole, and that's why he stretched.
Oh, that could be it too. Gravity.
Now that's an interesting...
a quick black hole.
A little miniature...
Super quick.
Yeah, a real quick black hole.
Real quick black hole. Like super quick black hole.
Yeah, it's like a really small, super fast black hole. I mean, he didn't turn into like a piece of white dog turd like E.T. did and partially die.
Oh, that was so scummy.
But maybe he turned into a piece
I'm still half haunted by that fucking shell of the white dog turd in the river.
Oh,
when he's
I hated
there,
that.
He's just like, and I'm just like, no!
It was so disgusting.
It's so disgusting.
It was like an oyster.
But I mean, maybe he turned into like a yellow dog turd as he came down from his atmospheric situation and where the pollutants got to him and his kind. Maybe he's the last of his people.
I feel if I can turn this into an environmental message, we've done a good thing here today.
Maybe it's like the last of the Mohicans, but the last of the
Stretch-hicans?
The stretchy Thai aliens, possibly. All right, well, there you have it. I mean, that's our take on the Scarecrow of Chiang Rai. I mean, it's a broad spectrum issue. There's a lot of things that it could be, man. I mean,
he's a lot of things. He's a lot of things to a lot of people.
I want to go more phantasmagorical with this, but I think unfortunately, from the evidence I've seen, I'm going to go with interdimensional blimp.
Yeah, it just makes sense. It really does.
I mean, hell or space aside, that's the vehicle you travel to hell or space in.
Right now, I just feel lucky that the black hole didn't consume all of us.
No, totally.
I think we really narrowly missed a bullet there. We dodged a cosmological bullet.
We did. We totally did. All right, cool. So yeah, thank you for joining us. As always, social medias, the Instas, the Twitters, the Facebooks, ratings and reviews. Stick around. We got some ratings and reviews coming up. Be sure to leave those on the iTunes, the Apple Podcast apps. It helps us out greatly. We got the TeePublic shop. Be sure to check that out. We got some t-shirts for sale. Same thing with our Big Cartel shop. We got some koozies and some pins, and we have some products on the way that are going to be in that shop very soon. Mm-hmm. So be sure to keep your eyes on that. If any of you guys got merch out there that you want to tag us on the Instagrams with, be sure to post that up, and we will repost it. Also, too, if you add us as your Instagram story, we will restory it.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you for a fact, Mark loves them. You make his day when you send him these Instagram stories.
I absolutely love when people hit us up on the Instagram stories. It is the best part of my day. All right, there you have it, and we're talking to you soon.
Bye.
Yeah. No, it floats. Hate floats.
Bye.
Make sure your fireworks work.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you for sticking around for the ratings and reviews. We're going to get started coming from the iTunes and the Apple Podcast apps. I'm obsessed. 5 stars, Oddly Noodles. Thanks to Little Moonchild on Instagram. I am in love with you guys. Best thing to listen to when I'm driving around. Keep up the amazing work. Yes, thank you very much for the review, and thank you very much, Little Moonchild.
Absolutely.
Yasmin, over there on Instagram, she does a bunch of Instagram stories for us, and she actually sent a ton of listeners to us.
I know.
Cool.
You're awesome. Thank you so fucking much.
Thank you so very much. Moving on here, love it, 5 stars. EveC100, I'm totally hooked on this show. I love cryptozoology, and this show gives me a lot of little-known cryptids and more from around the world. And it's hilarious.
Aw.
Love it with the thumbs up emoji icon.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, moving on here, keep up the good work, 5 stars from Celtic Blue 13. Brilliant show, just like sitting with your mates discussing the topics, except you get no voice and can't join in. And no one offers me a beer yet. So, yeah, there you go.
I offer you the metaphorical beer of distant friendship.
Yeah.
Drink heartily the next time you're listening.
Since we got those koozies, probably the best thing to do is just order a koozie.
Yeah.
As you're listening, put your beer in the koozie and then drink and look at us on the koozie.
Yeah,
and
stare at us.
Yeah, you're drinking with us.
Lovingly.
Yeah, totally.
Lovingly.
Yeah.
With hearts and hands.
Indeed.
Or, you know what? I say if we put an episode out that you don't like, you can just yell at the koozie and be like, why can't you guys be better? And then you can, throw it.
Or then you can put, really bad things inside of us.
You could, yeah, like vegetable juice and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Vegetable juice.
Although
That's like the worst thing you could think.
I know, it really.
Vegetable juice.
You don't stretch hard on that.
I do like a V8, though. There's not much. Like, the worst thing to me is, like soda. I don't drink soda, so the worst thing is, soda. That's, all I got.
That's literally the worst thing you can think to put inside a koozie.
No, there's a lot of really gross things you could put in there, but I'm just thinking beverage in a can. I limited it.
Clamato?
Oh, yeah. Clamato juice, yeah. Although
a combination of Clamato and Yoo-Hoo. Oh. On a dare, I wouldn't do that.
I had one of those Bud Clamatos. It was it's like Bud and Clamato juice.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds terrible, but it's actually not that bad.
No, it is.
It's kind of like a Caesar, but with a Budweiser.
It sounds horrible.
I mean, I don't know. It's not. I don't know. I didn't mind it.
I
remember it was 10 in the morning and it was at a brunch, and I'm like, fuck it.
Let's judging.
Have a Budweiser and a fucking Clamato.
Yeah, that just sounds like two bad things that are worse together.
That's how it is. So be sure to leave us those rating and reviews, guys. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on the iTunes, the Apple Podcast apps. Leave those, and we'll read them. And for a second goodbye, anybody got any closing thoughts? Anything we need to get off our chest? Anything? Everyone good? Everyone solid?
No,
we're making it through the holiday season.
Pretty good.
We're good.
I mean,
so
this is pre-Christmas recording. I would wish people a really wonderful holiday, but it's going to be in the past tense. So I'm going to wish that it was a wonderful holiday
That's true.
for you. Because it's a tough time of year, but there can be some joy if you find a way to drink enough.
We're going to get through it. I've already got through my first Christmas, plenty hammered. So
Speaking of which,
I've got my
Mark
next one.
Gave Chris and I just a beautiful gift.
Oh, yeah.
Extraordinary, wonderful, geek-tastic gift, and God bless that man. God bless his Christmas spirit.
Merry Christmas, Robert and Chris.
One and all.
Indubadilly.
Thanks for joining us, and we're talking to you soon.
Bye again.
Ha!
Again, bye.
The first eyewitness of this strange event came forward. Chiggity Biggs. Okay.
Calm down.
Fudge Nickels.
Chiggity Biggs.
Effington Heights, Nebraska.
Wow.
When I was
It's
basically
Christmas.
raising my niece and nephew,
Simmer
I did
down.
my best to make up new swear words that weren't actually profane. Chiggity Biggs is one of them.
Oh, jeez.
Though that does sound like it's somehow horrible.
It sounds like an
But it
old
really
racist
isn't.
term from 1902 or something.
Yeah, but it really isn't.
It does
It's
sound
just-
old-timey.
It's more like chitty chitty bang bang dumb shit.
All right, let's try it again.